So let's get started, guys. I think we will max out this webinar. We have all so many people pre-signed up. So let's get going here. So everyone knows, and if you don't, you will learn it now. The power in our industry is the law of multiplication. And combined with today's technology, it's so fast that we can't wrap our mind around it. And the law of multiplication uh, is the power that build our business. It's the glue that also keep it together. But you got to add something, and sometimes it's too fast for people, especially in these days. You know, it's easy to recruit, but it's the same thing as Jim Rohn used to say, if you make a million, you better hurry up, become a millionaire. Otherwise, you will lose it. And the same thing here. If you build a business, you can easily recruit people, but you want to keep them in. You want them to stay in the business. You want them to be part of your team. You want them to be successful and uh, stay for the long term. That's why you need principles. That's why you need trainings. That's why we'll need leadership. And that's why we talk about it a lot also. So the law multiplication is the power, the driving force behind how can we grow so fast, and why is it? Well, you can easily do an example if you haven't done it. It's pretty stunning to this day when you do. You take a piece of paper, pen and paper, or you take your cell phone, whatever you do, and you write 2 times 2, and then you keep on times 2 times 2, and you see how it multiplies. If you then add one person, you do 3 times 3 times 3, you will see the huge difference. That's law of multiplication. That's what we're working. Our system is I was actually uh, part of creating a system many years ago for people that we call the pipeline. And you got to understand that the system is here to help you. The system is here. If you work the system will work for you. That means that people try to take shortcuts and do it, oh, I have my own way. Or, it's okay. You can do that. I mean, it's not like you're forced to do anything. This is just suggestions. Same thing as you jump a parachute, the suggestion is you draw the thing there to fall out the parachute. But anyway, the system is created so it will work for you. I will explain. So why do we even have a system? Well, number one, because when there's a lot of people coming in, you can't control everyone. That's why you need a system. That's why you need to implement the system. The first, as soon as the person make up his mind, bam, you introduce the system, and you keep on checking up. There's this good saying, you got to inspect what you expect. If you expect someone to work your system, you got to inspect that he or she does work the system. When they realize that there's no other way, and they will continue, and they will duplicate, they will start bringing people on board, and they will start showing the system. Because you can easily control 50 people. You send 50 people. You can call them up. You can even stay in contact with 50 people. Maybe you can do it with 7,500 people. But when it comes to 1,000, there's no way you can control all the people. You don't know what's going to happen in another country, in another region, in another part of the world. That's why you need a system, because otherwise those guys will start working in a total different way, and they will either do something wrong or destroy the business. And results in a short term is not the proof of people doing the right thing. You can have results in a short term, but you want result in a long term. That's why you need the system. That's why you need to implement the parts that we're doing. And it's more than this, but I will explain. Why do we have a first look? Well, you can't invite a person to a webinar if they don't know what they're going to look at. If they don't have no clue, oh, you just sign up here and go to the webinar. It creates confusion, and it also creates uh, people that are become negative, or if they have um, uh, if they have if they're on some system where they can make comments, or they're part of a group online, they will start comment negative stuff. So the system is to create, the first look is to sort out the negative people. We don't want them, you know? And so the first look is kind of feel out how the person is reacting. And that's why the first look is so important. It was more important back in the days from pen and paper, of course, because today is so fast and everybody's working like crazy. But still, if you want to have a genuine, strong network with people who are happy, and they sign up because they wanted to sign up, the first look is to sort those people out. They maybe come back later and sign up when they change their mind, or they realize that, wow, I was a little bit negative there. I had some prejudgment. Prejudgment, look at that word, prejudgment. Someone is telling something is bad without knowing what it is. Prejudgments. People have that. That's why we have the first look. So first look is to sort out the negative people, or people who shouldn't be there. So I heard some examples, lately, about people being on the webinars. They don't even know why they're there. They got a link from someone, and they, like, oh, they clicked the link, and they were in some Zoom webinar or some other webinar, and they had no clue why they're there. That's not good for your business. That's not good for anyone. You can work how any way you want, but it's just a suggestion, like I said. So first look, what does it mean? It means that the prospect that you have, you explain a little bit, like, I'm involved in this company who work with affiliates in gambling and gaming, and you got to take a look at this. This is going to be the future. That's a first look. That's the first, just to have that person know a little bit what they're gonna. Or you do the whole first look. That means that you show them the short movie about Crowd1, or you have a couple of slides to show them, and then you bring them on a webinar. And it's more powerful, because if they have a little bit of clue what they're going to watch, they're going to be more enthusiastic and more motivated when they're actually on the webinar. So first look, in the short presentation, could be a webinar, could be a phone call, could be, you show them some slides on the computer. And it's called short presentation because it's going to be short. It's not going to be 2 hours. Why is it not going to be 2 hours? Well, we work with duplication. So if the person take a look at something for 2 hours the first time, what do you think that person is going to do when he's going to show the business to other people? He's going to sit 2 hours with people and show them the business, which means that a lot of people would say, oh, I don't want to do that. That takes way too much time. I don't want to sit 2 hours and talk with people. So a short presentation is a short presentation. Then we come to the business presentation. That could also be a webinar, could also be a hotel meeting, or meeting in a with a group of people in a whatever. But we have this, and then we have the events, and the events are creating so people will really get the big picture. They maybe get the big picture in a business presentation, or online. Who do I know? What do I know? But they will not get the energy, and they will not get. If you've been on an event, you know that powerful energy that's in the room that change people when they actually see the guy on stage doing a training, or they get information. That's no such thing that can actually take the place of an event. No way. And that's why online business is super good today, because we have the technology, but sometimes we lack the relationship, the building with meeting people, So that's why we have the system. And then you can see it's 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will just give you an example. I trained my people, and that's why we could build a business of millions of people with pen and paper, to be, a military uh, committed to the system. It was like an army. And what we also told them is that back in the days, it's not as important today as it was back then, but there's a priority, of course. You always priority backwards. That means that if you hear someone, there's an event, and that person is invited to go to this event with his team, and he or she goes like, "Why didn't you come to the event? Why didn't you buy tickets?" "Well, I was doing short presentations." You never do anything. If there's an event, you don't do business presentations on that day. You don't do short presentation on that day. Well, if you're there and you do it on your phone, yes, but you not extend or exchange the event date for a first look short presentation or a business presentation. So the priority is always backwards. Event is number one, then you go backwards. And same thing, you don't do a first look to not attend a business presentation if your team leader, your upline, your leader is inviting you to something. So it's always backwards, prioritize. Also, we know, I'm not going to go through that, but we spend a lot of time in the first two blocks, more time than in the last block, of course. That's what the business is built. So you will spend 85% of your time in first look short presentations. That's the way it is. So that is where you build your core, where you build your business. But listen, guys, it's principles. And we're working in duplicating business. That means the people will do what we do, not what we tell them to do. Okay? Also, I made a couple of points. I didn't take them all here because there's a lot more in the book, but I took a couple. The purpose of a system is to give you a carved track to follow. So when people join, you are plugged in the system. You follow your leaders, what they're doing. They carved out the track. Actually, they didn't, but they plugged in a system where it's already a carved track to follow, and that's what we're duplicating. So number one, there's a carved track to follow. It's easy for people to just plug in a system without, because it could be overwhelming for some people. What am I going to do now? I don't really get this, blah 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 blah. And confused people don't work. If you're confused, you're not doing anything. So you got to have clear-minded people who know what they're doing. Number two, you get education and empowerment. The purpose of a system is to bring people to. So what are we doing now? Where are we now? Well, we're in the third block. We're in the third block of the system, where we have trainings. This is not a business presentation, but it's a training online, and it's important. And education and empowerment is so important because most people, they are born with a lack thinking mindset. Maybe 90-95% come in this business. They have no clue how to build a business, how to behave, how to become a leader, how to do things in the right way. They don't have a clue. So they need to be plugged in the system to get the education and to get empowered, to get some real principles and get some energy, get some solutions, because money always follows solutions. Money doesn't follow the best business. We are in the best business probably ever, best online marketing company ever, but people doesn't matter if you don't do it right. If you do it the wrong way, it will not be the best business. So education and empowerment is so important because that's the foundation of your long-term residual income. Because when people are educated and empowered, they don't quit. They are not negative because they understand. They are working hard on themselves to become a better person And when you become a better person, when you have your personal development going, wow. So number three, the purpose of a system is to have seminars, webinars, and events. So without a system, there could be people probably gather here and there, but that's it's not a system like a system where you have a commitment, and you have presentations going on all the time, in the calendar, because leaders, they plan maybe 6 months ahead, 3 months ahead, so they know where they're going. It's not like, oh, let's have a presentation tomorrow. No, we can't. You got to have a plan. We don't go into that here now, but planning is so there's someone that already planned your success, because you part of a system. So someone is already have a plan for your success. If you knew and just, I mean, you haven't signed up just recently, but maybe you just a couple of months in the business, or a couple of weeks, and you attend this webinar, you got to realize that someone has a plan for you. If you have the humbleness to just uh, listen, be a good listener. So leaders, they are planning. Leaders are planning like crazy. That's the key to success. One of the key to success. The next thing, purpose of a system, is to get personal counseling and coaching. You actually get all this just by be humble enough to say, I'm ready. Tell me what to do. And those are the people you are looking for. You're not looking for people who are negative from the first second, blah, 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 blah. You want people who say, I love this. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to be successful. Those are the people, the coachable ones. When I build, I always look for the coachable people. The coachable people are the essence of leadership, the essence of success. So that's the purpose of having a system. Some of the key things. There's more, of course, but the personal development is the key to great leadership. And this business is all about leadership. Even if you have a couple of people, you're a leader. Leadership give people a meaning. Leadership, and the beauty about this, if you get this, that when you sign up, you plug in the system, and you are doing what the other guy who involved you are doing, and you creating, because people are going to watch you. So when you are following your leader, they will follow you as a leader, because they are going to watch you be humble enough to follow your leader, and the duplication is in place. But people don't realize that they can destroy their business in just a couple of minutes by bad mouthing the upline or the people they're working with. You know what your downline will do? They will do the same to you. So they will copy. If you think you're the number one superstar and you don't take order for anyone, your downline, your people, your team are going to do the same. So some people, they don't get the power of duplication. They don't get the power of people actually, uh, duplicate anything. That's why we need personal development, because personal development, when you grow as a person, you learn to be humble. You learn that, wow, if I'm gonna be successful, I better listen to that guy. I have a story. Which is it's when I started, and so the guy who started me, he didn't really believe in me. He came to my house. I will not tell you the whole story today, but he came to my house, and he gave me some demand. He said, I demand this from you. Okay. And uh, I agreed on most of it, but then he came to one point. He said, oh, if you're going to do this business with me, you got to quit. And I was doing some sports back then. I started to play ice hockey again. I played juniors, and I was pretty good back in the days. And I just started. I hadn't played for many, many years, and I thought it was so fun. and I played only, like Division 3 or something, but it was fun and I loved it and I had something to do. And I love ice hockey anyway. So he said, you had to quit ice hockey if you're going to work with me, because that's going to be in the way of your success. And then I just, it just clicked in my mind. I got almost angry. I said, what is he saying? Who do he think he are? Come here and tell me what to do. And I went in and I told my wife, and she saved me, and all the people who work with me in all these years, my wife saved. She said, well, do you think Henry's successful? And I said, yeah. Well, maybe you should listen to him. And those were the words that I need to hear. So it just, wow. So listen to successful people. Be humble enough to listen. Because if you want to be successful, you have to become a person of value. You have to. You have to grow. You have to grow. If you don't grow, everybody has a worth, but not everyone has value. Value means when you develop your personality, when you grow as a person, you learn some principles and you stay put, you're committed, you're disciplined, you work on your character, you are becoming a person of value. So there's a chapter in my book because now we have explained. So when you work with people, you explain to them, they plug in the system. You get this, you get a proven system. You get a plan. Someone planned out for you presentations, and there's webinars, and there's material, there's trainings, there's people who want to, be part of your success. Then most people, and this is probably one of the most important things that most people forget because they're so anxious, so afraid of getting a no, they don't think quality. They think quantity instead of quality. So what do we expect from you, the person who starts? So if this is a new person, I'm about to start this person, I explain to that person, not point by point, of course, but these are the points that you can use when you're working with people. What I do, I ask them if they have a dream. That's point number one. If they're willing to change, if the life situation, if they, are willing to change the situation they're in. So I explain to them, if you work with me, I can help you change your life. That could be financially, that could be materially, that could be, life situation with anything, relationships. And I said, are you willing to change? You're in the right place to work with me. And I demand that from people that I work with, that they have a desire, a sincere desire to change their life and to become successful. Because if they don't have that, there's not that seed that you can water. Because if they're not have desire to, most people have a wish, oh, I wish I was rich. Oh, I wish this and that. But a sincere desire is something else. A sincere desire, a burning desire to change. Wow. That's why it's so beautiful to see people come into this business, start changing their life, start following the system, make some money, get a financial, platform. They can help other people in the communities or whatever. So number one, a sincere desire to change it. So this is what you are going to tell your new people, what you expect from them. Number two, a willingness to work hard. Some people are lazy. They're lazy bums. They don't realize how much time it takes to build. And those are the people who point finger to you and say, "Oh, look, he just got lucky." No. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as luck, because people who are successful, not everyone, of course, because it can be carved in stone. But most people who are successful, they have worked hard. They've worked on themselves. They studied. They've been on training, seminars. They read books. They're following orders from the people who knew better than them when they were new. And they had the willingness to work hard. So this is what I ask people, if are you willing, because I will feel them out to say, so if you're going to make 1 million, or you're going to make this kind of money, or you want to buy a new car, you got to work hard. People have a mindset that things are free, or it's just going to jump in their pockets. It's going to be a flow of money coming from nowhere. No, there's no such thing. Money follow solutions. Willing to work hard. 3, the will to learn, to have faith, and show conviction. And listen now, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing, to follow the system despite doubts sometimes. Everybody doubts sometimes. Even a leader doubts. But he get up, and if he can look up, he can get up. And if he can get up, he can show them a way out. He can start all over again. Doesn't matter. Problems occur. People think that leaders or successful people don't have problems. No, 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 no. They had more problems than anyone else because they solved the problems. That's why they are successful. Crybabies, they have no place in success. Because if you start crying over stuff, oh, but look at baby, that's not leadership, and you will go nowhere. Leadership is about training yourself to have the principles, so you have faith and you have conviction and you're committed, to stay and to do the right thing, because everything will, happens. And no, I would say like this: stuff will happen, but it's not how you react to what happens, how you respond to what happens. Do you react or do you respond to what happens? Okay. Ethics and morals. Number 4. That's what I tell people. I don't want you to exaggerate this business. I don't want to go out to people and lie, or exaggerate, or tell people not what it's not, or I don't want you to. I had way over 1 million people in my download back in the days with pen and paper. We had no problems with what it's called cross recruiting or stealing people. No problem. You know why? Because we set the pace for the beginning. I would not say they didn't have any problem. We had problems, but we had no problems like that, because the standard is always set on the top with you. You are the top of your organization, and you're part of someone else's organization. So ethics and morals is important. Otherwise, that will duplicate, and you can see how that will go. Number 5, I asked them, if they're willing to continuously grow on the personal level and to spend time with other winners. Because you can't combine sitting with your beer drinking buddies and do the business part-time and go back to your beer drinking buddies and get advice from them. Never take advice from someone who can't take you to the next level. I'm just telling you, there's no such thing. You will stay with the winners, the people who made up the mind to going somewhere, who are not problem makers. They are problem solvers. And if you go back to this, the system, I can tell you a story that is true, and it's wonderful, because it's the duplication of this business, and it's working hard. If you go back to this, the willingness to work hard, for instance, but also to learn, have faith, and show conviction. So this was back in the day. I just started the business. I had a couple of months under my belt. I was trying to copy my sponsor, everything he did. And back in those days, when we signed someone up, you had to buy a starter kit. So the starter kit was actually a box with the contract in it. So you couldn't sign someone up. It was actually, beautiful, because you couldn't sign someone up without that starter kit. So you have to buy the starter kit, which, show conviction, of course, and commitment. So you have to put some money out to get that starter kit, open the box, get the contract, and sign someone up. So, of course, the one who had the most starter kits in his car, which was me, because every time it was hard to get those starter kits. You had to order them from, blah blah blah, and always there were uplines in your organization who had starter kits for sale. And when you met them at trainings, and like my sponsor said, so I'm going to order some starter kits. How many do you want? And I like, back in the days, people bought one or two, and this is a mindset thing. This is a winner mindset. I said, I will have 10. Why did I order 10 starter kits? It almost broke me because I didn't have that much money. I was just starting the business. But my mindset was set up on I will sign up at least 10 people. If you buy one starter kit, how many people will you sign up then? One. So I said, I'll order 10. He looked at me like I was crazy because he didn't expect that. So I ordered 10. I had those in my trunk in my car, and we're driving around. And I understood that in the system, it was about to put up this presentation. Back in the days, we didn't have internet, we didn't have phones. Well, we had phones. It just started with cell phones, but we didn't recruit by the phones. Anyway, so I was driving around, and I was on my way to presentation in my old hometown, and we had a good first meeting with the group that was there, and it was not packed. Listen, guys, this to me that was total success. We were 7 people at that meeting, 7, and I was like, wow, it's really happening, So I booked another meeting, of course, because one meeting should lead to another meeting. And I was on my way, came up to the hotel where we were doing the meeting, and the 2 guys that I worked with, my 2 front lines, kind of, were there. And I looked around, and it was almost, I mean, it was still time. It was 20 minutes left, but usually people come back in the days. They come in time to spend some time before and hang around, and so. But there were only these 2 guys that I work with, and I said, "Where is everyone?" And they looked a little bit, shameful, and looked in their cell phones. We had cell phones, but the first ones, and oh, I'm gonna try to call someone here, and I knew immediately that they didn't have done the work. They were thinking like losers. Oh, it will take care of itself. No, it will not, because we had one successful presentation. Their mindset was like, oh, now it will take care of itself. Everyone will just show up. No, that will not happen. Not back in the days, I'm telling you. So I understood immediately that these guys were, not trained well enough to understand what was going on. So I just told them, because my sponsor trained me. So I just told them, okay, guys, you have not done the work. You had 1 week to get the people come here, to invite people to do the short presentations, the first look, and to get them in the pipe and to come here. And instead, you were lazy and you didn't do the work. No, we have done. No. Don't fool me. If you've done the work, there will be people here. End of story. So I just told them up front, I said, look me in the eyes right now. I will tell you, I will come here next week, and I will build this business with or without you. If you don't do the work, I will. So I will invite at least 3 new people that I will work with instead of you guys. If you don't step up, I don't care. I will build this business with or without you. And they will look at me like totally scared, like, ooh. Next week, what did I do? I promised I would show up with 3 new people. A lot of how to scare those guys, of course. And I did. I walked in the door at the hotel. 3 new people were following me, and I didn't even look at those guys, the other 2 guys. They were supposed to be my frontline leaders. I saw them look at me with scarcity in their eyes. But listen, did they have some people there? Yes, they did. Did I even talk to them? No, I didn't. Until after the meeting. I had my 3 new guests there, and I said, I promised I will work with them. I will build up them as leaders because I work with people who want to be successful and to follow these points. From that day, those two guys never came without any new prospects to meetings. And the one guy, he became one of the biggest leaders in Europe. He then went on to build other companies and became super successful. He still is. He's one of the big names in the industry. What would happen if I would go like the world takes you, that things are free, it go by itself, and if I be the nice guy, say, okay, it's nice. No, you didn't have any people here. That's okay. We start all over. No, 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 no. Listen, if you're gonna train people, you got to follow the principles. You got to follow. You got to be a leader. You got to show the way. You got to walk the talk and be a leader. Okay, guys, it's been a long webinar today, but I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, well, it's not my fault. I can just give you the information. What you do with it, it's not up to me. Next webinar, next week, Sunday. Sunday school will continue. We will continue to build leaders. We will continue to grow. We will continue, whatever happens, we will continue because we are a team. And there's so many good leaders out there. And I have a good relation with you all. We stay in touch, and you're awesome. And it will prove itself who actually are following this, the principles in the system, and who's not. Anyway, I wish you the best of luck, and remember, the rest of your life will be the best of your life. Thank you, guys.